As Halloween approaches, so do the scary stories and other eerie activity. Our community has some of its own paranormal experiences, so stay tuned for an interview with Miss Bottom from Perryville. Center College hosts one ghost that is talked about year-round. The ghost's name is Peter, and he lives in Breckenridge Hall. Students and staff who lived and worked in this dormitory have all had their own encounters. Many report seeing doors open on their own and lights turning on and off. One student said that he went to sleep with his door locked, and in the morning it was open, his lights were on, and the radio was on. Students also woke up to the window in their stairwell shattered one morning with no explanation to what had happened. All of these experiences connect students and staff in a way that cannot be forgotten. We're here with Lisa Bottom from Perryville, and today she will be sharing with us some of her scary story experiences.
Thank you, Kennedy. I'm glad to be here, and I thank you for having me today. As you all know, I'm from Perryville, Kentucky, and was raised there. But Perryville was the site of the bloodiest battle in Kentucky on October the 8th, 1862. There were thousands of soldiers who lost their lives there. So, after the battle, there were lots of wounded soldiers that were left there to be taken care of. Many died there. Some of them stayed there and made a life there. But again, there was a lot of unrest in Perryville. So we live in a home that was built in the early 1850s, and it was used as a hospital during the Civil War. So it was also a stagecoach stop at some point too during that time. We've had a lot of experiences in our home. So one of the things that I have experienced, my husband's experienced, and people that have visited have experienced. We had our daughter-in-law who, her and her husband would always spend the night with us on Christmas Eve. So one morning she got up and she said, "I have a question." And I said, "What?" She said, "Have you ever seen anything in here?" And I said, "Well, no, but we've heard a lot of noises." And she said, "Well, this morning I saw a Confederate soldier, and he appeared to me twice." So, and I'm not surprised, because, like I said, it was used as a hospital. And then later on, there were a couple of medium people that came into our home. They knew nothing about the story that my daughter-in-law had told. And they were upstairs in the same area that my daughter-in-law was. And she asked me, she said, "Have you ever seen a Confederate soldier?" And I said, "No, but my daughter-in-law has." And she said, "Well, there are two here. One of them's missing a leg and they're injured." And so that kind of, neither one of them knew that experience, so that was kind of neat to kind of confirm that those were ghosts actually in the house. So one of the other things that I've experienced was when our kids were little. I was making dinner one night, and I had laid my rings down on the bedstand. And my youngest son got the rings. I was making dinner. He got the rings, and he threw them. So I went in the room to look for the rings, and all I could ever find was my engagement ring. And we never found the wedding band. Now, my son is 34 years old. So that was when he was probably about 4 or 5 years old. And so later on in the year, I was upstairs. This was like 3 years ago. I was upstairs, and on the ottoman in our bedroom upstairs, it was a guest room. I picked up a magazine that was laying there, and my gold wedding band was laying on that ottoman. So mind you, this had been several years later. So I put it up in the cabinet, and I told my husband about it. And a few weeks later, we had some people that were coming through, and they put their camper in our backyard, and they were there for an event in town. And their daughter was with them. And during the night, their daughter woke her parents up and said, "There's a soldier in here, and he's been standing over my bed with a ring, a gold ring." And so she got up and she left and went to a hotel because she was scared. And her mother asked me the next morning, she said, "Is your house haunted?" And I said, "Why are you asking?" And she said, "Well, my daughter saw a Confederate soldier standing over the bed with a gold ring." They knew nothing about the wedding band that we had found. So that was kind of an eerie thing, the whole time. We do hear footsteps in our house a lot, upstairs in our guest rooms, and you can hear them going back and forth, and there's nobody in the house but us. We've heard, one of the strangest things that we have is when our bedroom door is shut, our dogs, we have 2 boxer dogs, and we're in the bed, and they'll raise their head up and start to growl a little bit and look at the door, and the doorknob will turn and the door will pop open. So we've had that happen a lot. And then we had a guy that was working on our cabinets. He was painting our cabinets one day, and he asked my son when he came home, he said, "Is your parents' house haunted?" Because we get that a lot. And he said, "Why are you asking?" He said, "I've been hearing somebody go up and down the steps all day long." So he went to the steps, and he said when he went out there the next time, they ran up the steps, but there was nobody there. So what we have in our home is not really what I would call scary, unless you're just scared of that kind of stuff. But it is more of an unsettled spirit type thing that's there. We have experienced a lot of other things. There's a place out on the battlefield called the Squire Bottom House, where was right in the middle of the intense fighting of the battle. And Mr. Bottom, actually, he owned all the land where the fighting was, and he buried a lot of those soldiers. And then his house was even hit with gunfire and cannon fire during that time. And the house is still standing, which is really a neat thing. So if you're ever in Carroll, you want to check that out. But we were there one night, and they were doing some filming there that night that we were there. And to the wall, there's 2 windows upstairs in the bedroom, and then there's a bed in the middle. To that wall, there is, like I said, 2 windows. And on the outside is where the most fierce fighting was. The fire hit the house, gunfire. I just kept getting drawn to that window. It was dark, and I kept getting drawn to that window, and the hair would stand up on the back of your head. And so I laid my hand down on the bed, and when I did, something moved underneath my hand. There was nothing in the bed, but it was almost like there was a presence there that was trying to tell me, "I'm here, I'm here." So those are some of the things that I have experienced. We've experienced a lot of things, and my husband does the guided ghost tours in Carroll, and we have those once a month, which is our mainstream program does. But he guides a lot of those, and he has a lot more history than I do, and he can tell you a lot more than I can. But just lately, they were on a tour in the Carrot Parks house, and there had been candles in the windows that had batteries in them that had been taken out for a long time. And he was shining up to show, maybe 2 or 3 years there hadn't been any candles, any batteries in the candles. And he was shining up his light, so he took his light back down, and one of those candles came on, and there was no batteries. So that was kind of an eerie feeling too. But I mean, we've heard voices. Like I said, I've never actually seen something, but I felt the presence of it. So those are a lot of the things that we have. But there's a lot of unrest in that town. So, there were so many people that were killed.
Thank you, Kennedy and Miss Bottom. Next, we will hear from Landry and some of our members from the cross-country team.
I'm here today with some of the BCMS cross-country members, Izzy Phillips and Hayden Gotze. How far have you ran without stopping?
About 7 miles.
About 7.5 miles.
What is your fastest time?
For a 3K, my fastest time is 13:39.
My fastest time is 13:19.
Nice. How is the girls' team doing as a whole?
We're doing pretty good. Most of the girls are running up for high school, so.
How is the boys' team doing?
We're doing all right. Most of us are running up for high school also.
Thank you and good luck with the rest of your season.
Halloween is time for tricks and treats, so let's head over to Anderson and your guests as they play Halloween headbands.
Hi, I'm Innocent Pittman here with Eagle Eye News TV, and today we're going to be playing Halloween headbands. For the 7th grade team, we have Kelly DeSager, Miss Rush, Miss Keeper, and Kennedy Berger. So, the two teachers are going to be playing rock, paper, scissors, shoot to see who draws first. Okay, so the two teachers will come up, or you guys can do it. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, so I draw first? Yes. Just like close your eyes and then just draw them. Okay? Her headband. So just put it on her.
Then why she just close her eyes?
One.
It's in a garden and it hangs up high to keep things away from the crops. Like
A scarecrow.
yes.
Okay. Woo! Team 8th grade has 1 point. Okay. Now, just draw one. Pretend. Okay. Timer starts in 3, 2, 1.
Casper.
A ghost.
You got it, man. One word. That was. Kids do it on Halloween.
Trick or treat.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, good job, guys. Okay.
Put these in the oven and they taste really good.
Cookies.
Nope, but they do have a really nice taste and they're usually really common. They also have a really nice scent and they also have nice little lines and they're like muffins.
Pumpkin bread. Pumpkin muffins. Okay, wait. Let me think. Muffins.
It's close to them, but it's larger.
Cake?
Nope, but it's closer.
Bread?
But it is really tasty.
Pie.
You're right.
Pumpkin
Good
pie.
job.
Yeah, you're right. It's pie. It's pie.
They ride a brig.
A witch.
Oh, good.
You ready? Okay. They fly. They're black. They eat insects.
Oh, is it a bat?
Yes.
Oh my god.
This is just so good.
Okay, we might have to do several timers.
Okay, can I start? It's tonight. There's a thing tonight.
Football.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, good job.
They change during the season time in different colors on
Trees, fall leaves.
Yeah, you did it. You have leaves.
All right.
Okay, we got 2 left, so.
Okay, Devon's has one of these, and you go through it.
She got it.
Oh my gosh, I got an easy one.
It was corn maze. Now that one was hard. You did great, Caleb.
We did try. We did.
8th grade. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for watching and hope you have a spooktacular Halloween.